Welcome to Building with Bits. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to build this extreme modern house design with the amazing Little Tiles mod in Minecraft. As you can see underneath me, this template is going to be the foundation that we're working from, and I've already planned out the overall shapes on paper, and I'd always recommend doing this, especially for bigger projects, because it's just so much easier having a proper reference to work with when building. Now, this house isn't just a giant X. Technically, it's two giant white concrete X's, with most of the house actually being supported in between. Here you can see me building up the first of these supports, using the slice tool to build those 2-block long slopes, and instead of just middle clicking both halves and placing them down individually, I just used the Little Tiles recipe to take a copy of the whole thing. This way I can just place it and rotate it like I would a single block, which obviously makes it nice and easy to use while we finish off our first X. Now, from here, instead of going around and manually building the other one, what I'm just going to do is actually copy and paste the whole thing to the other side. Again, we're using that Little Tiles recipe, and yeah, now we have our supports. It's actually mad how useful copy and paste is. Right. So these look cool, however we do need them to function as walls too. So I use some darker blocks and inset them a little further back to give it a bit extra definition, and it also fills in the gaps as well. At the bottom I leave space for a door, but at the top you can see I've just left it mostly open, and that's because we're going to need the space up there, but we'll come to that in a bit. Next though, we come around to start building up the side walls, and this was definitely one of the more interesting builds I've done so far. It's actually really difficult to design stuff at a weird angle like this in Minecraft. Well, with that said, I think it turned out alright. You see we step back the window on the first floor, leaving loads of space for a balcony, and also breaks up the monotonous shape a bit, giving a bit of variance, which is quite nice, and topping that off with some sloped windows just after the midline. We then come around to the inside to smooth out the walls, just getting everything looking nice really, and adding in the floors just to the halfway point to finish off one side of the building. And yep, you guessed it, we're gonna copy and paste this entire wall. There we go. We did have to go through and just patch up some of the floors in between as well to make sure everything was nice and smooth, but with that done and all of the space up here at the top of the building left open, we can finally get to work on the greenhouse. We start by just polishing off the little alcoves front and back. There's just a little sheltered area for some storage space, maybe some gardening tools. Then, after that came the challenging part, which was enveloping the entire room in glass. Now this glass is exactly 4 pixels deep the whole way around, and I used a slightly grey cork type block, which is provided by the mod, for the support beams that run along the top too. Now the ends were a little bit more complicated since I brought the glass out in between the columns of the X a little bit, and we pretty much had to go through and custom shape it for everything to line up, but it didn't take too long and was definitely worth the effort. And finishing off the inside, we have a beautiful little garden area with plenty of room for growing wheat, carrots, or even just some flowers. Now, finally, we've gotten to that point where there's just details left to go, and to be fair, I'm really running out of time on this project, so alongside building up all the doors you see here, I also go around off camera and just add in some finishing details and spruce things up a bit. Nothing too major, but just something to make it feel, well, not empty. If you enjoyed the build so far, please consider subscribing, it helps the channel out a ton. Don't forget to drop a like, and with that, let's take a look around. And yeah, here we have it. So, through the front door we have the entrance hall / library. There's a lot of empty space in here, to be fair, and the bookshelves do a good job of filling that in. Also, a really simple tip for getting some extra definition in your bookshelves is just to hammer out the middle bit, taking it a pixel back. It's nice and simple, but definitely adds to the definition and the overall feel when looking at it. Now, I actually put the staircases to get between the floors inside the two supporting concrete X's either side, which helped save a bit of room for the main living space. So through here we got our first floor, we just got some utility stuff. The latest version of the Little Tiles mod is still in Minecraft 1.12.2, so I don't really have too many blocks to choose from, hence keeping it nice and basic. But also on this floor, we got the large balcony areas on either side as well. And this just looks beautiful, like it's a huge open space to chill out in the evening, watching the sun go down in the distance. Back to the stairs and up to the next floor. The hallway here leads to 6 smallish rooms, enough space in here for like bedrooms or office or storage rooms, pretty much whatever you want. Then up again, we've got another open space through here. I really like the idea of a little cinema room, and could sort of work. You'd need blinds for all the windows and a projector and a screen setup, of course. But actually, I also thought this would be perfect space for like a computer suite with mad gaming PC setups, like lining both the walls, cool lighting and stuff going on. So yeah, plenty of options for that space. And up the stairs again, finally we reach the top floor, or the greenhouse. Now, my original idea was actually just to have a plain glass roof, but I'm so glad I added those beams going across to help support the glass. It looks so cool, and to see the shadows coming through with the light as well, just really adds to the depth of the whole build. This just looks awesome. The feeling of openness and space you get in here is so good. And that doesn't just come from the high ceiling either, but also from the raised planters, which gives the feeling of walking through a garden instead of just over it. Now, taller plants really help with this too, but obviously there's only so much we can do with the Minecraft blocks. Now, if you want to check this world out for yourself, I'll leave a link to my Patreon below where you can get access to all of the Little Tiles creations that I've built thus far. So not only this build, but all of my others, including my super huge Among Us maps too. Now, if you enjoyed, drop this video a like and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching all the way through, and I'll see you in the next one.